Hey fellow doctors, surgeons, and nurses, Rhadamant here. Thank you for tuning in to RimWorld Frostwardens, episode 73, Providing Total Healthcare. Alright, medical attention. Axios. Tend. And then we can also look for recruits. Not a bad recruit there. High social. Construction shooting. That's a potential. Macintosh. Body modder, but unwaveringly loyal. Not a potential. Optimist. Passionate, but low skills. In this case, Axios. Let's have you go on out and wrap up the... Instead of the heals that you were going to administer, we're going to have you go... finish off some people. Alright, Lawman. You're alive for 6. Question for you guys. Should we take Lawman as a prisoner? The other thing to note is these guys are from Army of Scavengers. They're not forced hostile. So it's also possible to take Macintosh in and release him for the reputation. So I might want to try to take as many prisoners as I can and just potentially recruit the ones I like rather than to decide right now. I think that make more sense. Oh, assignments. Don't use romance. I don't think I'm going to be able to chase Allie down, but I'll try. So, wish, capture, rogie, capture. And JD, you are going to need to go through another region cycle. So I'm going to prepare a space for that. Because he's missing a nose. Did the guy by the medicine die? Yeah, he was only alive for less than an hour. There was no hope of getting him in time. Oh, there's Poppy. Kind. Incapable of social. I don't know if you know what kind means, but okay. And Allie. Nervous gourmand. So, oh, and then there's Annabelle. You are downed not because of hypothermia. So, Tannering, go capture Annabelle. Axios, you're down due to hypothermia, 64%. You are just dead. You're... Okay. So, then we're going to capture Poppy. So, we have 4 potential prisoners that we can either release or recruit. I'm going to have you guys ultimately decide. On top of that, we are going to... So, the basins here, we have 2 for Psychoid that are going to transition back over to Rice, meaning that I'm going to have 3 as Psychoid out here. I'm going to have 3 as Beer. Actually, you know what? I'm going to do 2 Psychoid. I'm going to do 2 Glitter Flower, 2 Naturo Flower, and 2 Hops. I did say I wanted to fine-tune the light level here. So, I think the best corner for that might be right here. I might do something like that. Break these 2 walls and hook it up that way. Those guys are going to need medical attention pretty much immediately. Do we have a free dock somewhere? Madzin is tending Cardinal. Axios is capturing... we don't really have a free doctor at the moment. I guess it really doesn't matter how good of a doctor they are. JD, what is your... You're in no immediate danger? Okay. JD, go tend to them. No, don't put that weapon away. I think what I'm gonna do... Melee weapons, it's going to be all melee weapons. That go in there. Why do you keep hauling the poor rapier to the wrong spot? Do I have this wrong? Any quality, any hit points, melee weapons. Yeah, excuse me, why are you hauling it here? Oh, zoning? Yeah, okay, it's zoning. You're right. Let's fix the zoning. When in doubt, zoning. There we go. Because I'm not supposed to be able to use any weapons, but melee weapons aren't necessarily biocoded, so therein lies the problem. And we did get a lot of, like, regular medicine from this raid, which is awesome. I'm gonna burn up the Gojus, capture the medicine. What is it? Oh, suspicious rum? I don't really need sus rum, but thanks. So we have a lot of corpse cleanup to do to keep people happy because, of course, dead bodies strewn about make for upset colonists. So, not gonna die. What about the other one? Macintosh. Macintosh, you're gonna die in, like, moments. Annabelle, you are gonna die pretty soon, too. And Poppy. Right, Macintosh has been spared. Poppy just has frostbite, but this is a warm enough room. They should be okay. One of the issues, of course, this room is, like, unroofed. I still want to scan for, steel, or, uranium, rather. So I'm not going to stop scanning here. It does mean that the room's going to be a little colder as a result, but they'll have to deal with it. Alright, JD, rest until healed, and I'm very glad that you lost just a nose. It could have been a lot worse. So we're getting the last of them medically tended. So Fishpick, you need to go eat, and Cardinal, you need to go eat. So popping you out of your bed to do that. See to keep. Thank you for the cheer, and Fanar, I missed your resub, but thank you for the resub too. So, of the prisoners that we have, I don't think any of them are going to die anymore. Not that they're all tended to yet. We have Poppy, who's kind, mining, construction, animals. No social. We've got Lawman, who is shooting, construction, social, gay and kind. They're recruitable. Macintosh is not recruitable, so will they be released, and Annabelle is optimist, annoying voice, gourmand, would not want to recruit. First question, should we convert and recruit Lawman? Yes or no? Poll is up there, I'll give you 5 minutes. We do have this prisoner suite down here that we could potentially use for a prisoner that we want to recruit. It's not going to really help if we recruit 2 people, but, you know, it's something that we could potentially build for at least one of them. And Annabelle got a infection. She is not one that we particularly care about, but with that said, if we can get reputation for releasing her, it's best if we keep her alive. So let's try to get her in a physical bed and tend to her. So, medical tending might be Axios. Upper, thank you for the resub. Okay. 70% tend, not bad. Use another slate bed, and we'll build 2 more. Oh, and all the gifted subs. Thank you, thank you. I will drink to that. Axios, you need to go to sleep. Although you're scheduled to work, I feel bad. We still have some work to do in here. I hope that they get to it. I'm actually going to turn off the hydro benches for now. And it looks to me, I'm going to call this one early, we are going to try to convert and recruit lawmen. So, Mr. Lawman, you're not even patched yet. You are probably most suited to be a pilgrim. And then the other question was for Poppy. So, actually, if we end up doing both, I'll probably split them. So I'm going to say... we will reduce resistance for lawmen for now. So put 1 minute on the pole for Poppy. Because Poppy is, given mining, certainly going to be a pilgrim. So then lawman would become a stalwart. If we were to split them like that. We have a lot of corpse cleanup to do. I hope my people start working on that too. We took a beating. That's for sure. And JD's paws all set. There we go. We just need the door. If we are releasing 2 of them, this can be one prison cell, and this can be the other. So they both have nice prison cells. This one, of course, is going to be a little bit colder. But, you know, oh well. Someone pulls short straw. It's not a big deal. And we will replace the walls, the vents rather, with slate walls. And then try to run the heat better. We found coal. Bummer, dude. I want uranium. Lawman just had a crisis of belief and dropped his certainty by 50%. That honestly could not have been better timing. And I'm putting him in a proper cell. So this other cell here can get a table and chair so that we don't do the whole tableless. But it looks like we are going to recruit Poppy too. So let's split them up. Poppy, you, my dear, are going to be converted to a pilgrim. And Lawman, you are going to be converted to a stalwart. Unfortunately for me, Zeusin right now is in a pod, so she can't really do the conversion for Lawman, but well, we'll work towards it. And then Annabelle, you're going to be released. But I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to wait for Annabelle and Macintosh to be released for when they're fully healed, or close to fully healed. Because if I did it right now, they would probably get hypothermic and die out there, and I'd lose any benefit of faction relation in jumping the gun like that. JD. Are you set to the correct nutrition? Berries. Yeah, okay. Let's fill that up with berries. God, I have a lot of berries. And then get him through a regen cycle because he's missing a nose. Oh, and apparently... Oh, that's just an old wound. Alright, he's in there. Perfect. And this is biotuned and clean because of the sterile room that they're in. So it's as fast as we can make it go. So what I have to do now is position a light so that it provides at least 30% light for these Tinctoria, but no light for these Nutrifungus. If some of the Nutrifungus has to die back, it's not a big deal. But I'm going to try to get the light settings correct. And then once the hydroponic basins are sown, we will turn off or change this to mostly be edible crops, back to rice and potatoes and stuff like that. Berries. Making our medicines back here. Iron. Come on, uranium. I believe in you. Worst case scenario, I could position heaters here to illuminate the Tinctoria. But hopefully it won't come to that. So still fine-tuning the farm, and then we can write that off as a completed goal. I think right now would be a fine time for a voting session. Hold on. I don't have access to that overlay at the moment. Here we go. A voting session. So here is voting session number 34. Stalwarts demand that charity become essential, and pilgrims demand that manual labor becomes further enshrined at the cost of research speed. You can either defer to me or abstain from voting, and this is the 34th session taking place on the 14th of spring, year 7. I'll give you 1 minute to vote in this. It's also, the poll's going to still be up, and I'm going to quickly flash the history. So this is the history of the polling. So of the last few sessions, pilgrims have won most of them. Stalwarts won 1, and there was a tied vote for the 33rd session. So what do you guys think? Stalwarts or pilgrims? And just to reiterate what you see up here, you're invited to self-assign to one of the two factions, and only vote in line with that faction, meaning that if you self-assign to, let's say, Stalwart, you would only ever vote for Stalwart things, never Pilgrim things. So if you were a Stalwart, you could either vote for the Stalwart, defer to me, or abstain. So if you didn't like your initiative up here, you could, of course, abstain. but you would never cross party lines. That is how this is designed. Wow. Looks like stalwarts are winning. Let me make the requisite changes on my end. And that will conclude this voting session. So, the results, if you are wondering. Pilgrims, a little downtrodden. They've tied and lost in the recent elections. The stalwarts, however, are happier. They were oppressed now. They're now just disenfranchised, which is a +8 net. And charity is now essential. It's not to say that we get a whole lot of, like, beggars, wanderers, pilgrims, etc. But if we do, and we reject them, the stalwarts are going to be mega pissed. And thank you for voting. That was a pretty straightforward voting session. Tack on Blight, thank you for the sub. And the follow. Cheers. And welcome. Welcome. Okay. Looks like the corpse pile is full as hell. Rogie, I'm going to have you do it. It also looks like we need to do a lot of cleanup and repair because the base is like... Oh, that should not be closed. The base is like full of corpses and blood and guts and things. The kind of nasty nasties that nobody really wants to see. So I had to do something about it. Pannering, please don't step on the fire. We found 100 grand. Man, I cannot find uranium to save my life. I know we have some corpses over east where they mustered. Actually, it looks like... let's make sure to haul that medicine, because that's a lot of medicine that we don't want to decay. So Susan's going to be popping out in 19 hours, only having biotunes, so she still needs to go through a regen cycle. We do happen to have enough Glow World medicine for that. And then JD is in there for a full heal cycle, too. So this is dying due to exposed to light, but this is not. I think this is a pretty good compromise. So some of these Tinctoria tiles are not light enough. The bottom two are not light enough. And instead of fixing that, I'm just going to wall it up. So as a result, we have a fully functioning tri-purpose farm of medicines, drugs, corn, Tinctoria, and Nutrifungus. And I believe it's working as intended with just some tweaking. Which means building the Eclipse farm is done. So the current priorities is scan for uranium and heal people. While also keeping in mind that converting Poppy and Lawman are another priority that isn't necessarily on the back burner. Alright, so you still have an infection. We're going to keep you... Actually, you're about to be healed. So, prisoner... we'll release you soon. And there we go. This Tinctoria is, technically speaking, lit enough to grow. It's not lit well, but anything above 30% will work. This corner is actually too dark, too, so I'll drop another wall there. And all the other spots are at least 50%, so it's fine. Alright. I like it. It is weird. Now, what we don't want to have is to put raw fungus into our hoppers. So I'm going to change the chem fuel from bug meat, chem fuel from wood, and then chem fuel from fungus. Because we're growing the nutrifungus, no one wants to eat it, so we're growing it purely for chem fuel reasons. And the chem fuel from fungus and bug meat are obviously the primary way we get it, because we use wood as a building material. So if we can avoid turning the wood over, that would be ideal. Lawman certainty is down to 4%. Poppy's not all that happy at the moment. Annabelle's recovered, but I want the moving stat to be a little bit higher before we send out. She only has one lung. So sending her out with one lung and an infection is not asking for her to survive all that effectively. And now we're making a multitude of repairs to our walls and defenses, because that was a pretty well geared raid, you know, with their power armor and the like. Are there any more dead? Nope, we burned them all. Perfect. So kind of lawman to see things our way. I mean, both Poppy and lawman are kind. And kind converts quick. So it should not take very long for either of them to join up. They're very susceptible to influence. I feel like every time I check the home zone, it's wrong. Oh, yep, it's wrong over here too. I don't like auto home zone because I feel like it does a bad job of painting in, and I think the auto home zone assumes that you're building with wood and need like a firefighting buffer around everything, and as soon as you're building in stone, the auto home zone is unnecessary. Just my feeling on the matter. And Lawman has recruited. Or converted, rather. So now, we will recruit. He is a stalwart. Alright, Annabelle. You are moving at 80%. I'll wait for the infection to fully clear before releasing. I'm sure she could make it out, though. Yeah, no, she can make it out. She's wearing really, really good stuff. I don't intend to strip the prisoners for their better gear. That's just not something we do. So in the past, we had been neutral towards the army of scavengers, having released a lot of their prisoners. And that's what we're essentially hoping to do again, is to befriend them enough that they're no longer hostile. It will probably take a while. Zeusin is biotuned to the pod, and she's going to go in for a regen cycle. It takes twice as long for her as it would for JD, so she's going to be indisposed for a while. But it's the only way to heal the wounds. Seems to me like we have a desperate need for more steel. Can fungus be input into the pods? It can. Yeah, we can use nutrifungus for the pods as well. I'm going to see about trying to hook up a wall light here that, like, improves the growth rate of the Tinctoria without having to negatively affect the nutrifungus. Might need some fine-tuning. And for the first time ever, I am going to have a ritual. So this is the Pilgrims Lantern Festival, and the Pilgrims are going to partake. GD, when are you out? 7 days? Yeah, okay, we're gonna do it without him. God, the overlapping music is horrible. I don't like custom ritual noises. I should have turned it off, but I don't have a mod for that at the moment. It was unimpressive. But it inspired us to loot something called the Deathly Structure. I think not. I praise your enthusiasm. Alright, so it's relatively lit here in this tunnel as a result of that change. I'm going to move the light a little bit, because I don't want to kill the nutrifungus if I can help it. Worst case scenario, I'll just, I'll forget the whole, light level for the Tinctoria. I mean, the growth rate really hasn't actually gone up much as a result of that light. In fact, once I have, Rogi move the light, I'm just going to reassess whether it should be on or off. So the growth rate here is 20%. So it would kill one more fungus with that light. Growth rate's 20% with the light on. And it is... Okay, that's a really great timing. Right as nightfall. Okay, I see how it is. Yep. I'll measure it in the morning when the grow light goes back on. And the second prisoner is released. Bye now. With the grocery as it is, will it die off before it becomes harvestable? Probably. Its lifespan is 12. Its grow time is 2. Even at a growth rate of 30%, that might be 6. But 6 is half of 12. So yeah, it probably still will be fine. We have burned almost a third of the fuel that the chem-charged arc needs to burn to upgrade. If you were wondering. Now we have 2 prison cells. And it should be a little bit easier to recruit those guys. Please scan uranium. I want to get back to research. It's killing me. The other thing that we could do, which I hadn't mentioned, is bionics, because the heal people includes bionics. So, who is the worst hurt? Cardinals, 4% moving penalties, 3% moving penalties. Probably a leg. And there go! Poppy has converted. So Poppy, you are going to be recruited as well. And Wishbringer's going to do the bionics. Traditionally, it was Zeusin. Actually, you know what? I'm okay with that. Normally, I would keep it for Zeusin only so that you could level up her crafting skill, but I think we want the bionics sooner than later, so I'll let Wishbringer do it. So maybe Wish, you're making a leg for Cardinal or something? And it seems like all the blood around the colony has been cleaned up, which is great. Why does this battery keep draining out? I don't know. Now that we have another grow light, I'm going to raise the arc output a little bit. Because the extra grow light puts extra strain. Alright, so this grow wraith is 11%. So at 11%, this Tinctoria may not survive. Let's try to move this lead around to try to find like a perfect spot for it. It might not be possible, I don't know, we'll see. $47. Oh, that spot's perfect. The light level here is 47%, allowing a 17% growth rate, but the light level here is still dark. All right, there's our light. Awesome. And the benefit of that is actually will illuminate the rest of the farm fairly well, so that we don't have any like harvest penalties, which is good. In order to become neutral relation with them, we have to hit 0, I think. But then anything above -50 is fine. It's like, have to hit the threshold for the benefit. So now that we are queuing up the bionics, that's just a task for Wishbringer and Bryzit. So I need a new project for the rest of the colony, I think. Here we go. Give you 5 minutes to vote on that. So, the defensive entrance. I could make improvements to the defensive entrance to make it a little bit safer and easier for our defenders. I could expand the battery banks. I could improve anti-sapper and breacher defenses, as I mentioned before, because they are not ideal. I could build a trap corridor, whether it uses fire. Fire would be a little tricky. I mean, we could still do it, but given the ambient temperature, heating up enemies to death might actually be, like, beneficial if it doesn't get hot enough, but still. Or a deadfall trap, spike trap corridor. Either way. Or viewer suggestions, something that you suggest that I hadn't marked down or thought of. Have you guys choose. Man, Zeusin for an entire season. 16 more days. That's a long time to be laid up. Thank you for tuning in to RimWorld Frostwardens, which originally streamed live on Twitch. If you have any feedback or questions for me, let me know in the comments below. If you'd like to catch a live stream of mine, Rhadamant.com has my stream schedule and countdown timers to upcoming streams. If you would like to join my online gaming community on Discord, Rhadamant.com has a link to it, as does the description of this video. Thank you so very much for watching. Special thank you to my Twitch subscribers, Patreon patrons, and viewers like you that support the channel and made it all the way to the credits. Thank you so very much. I hope to catch you in next episode or an upcoming stream. Farewell, my fellow Frostwarden survivors.